So today we're going to be working with legs and feet. And based on who's in the room today, we're going to be adding a little bit of neck and shoulders, some relaxation of the mind, um, working with headaches and that kind of thing, tension in the mind, as well as a little bit of hip work. So that's the focus today. So just finding your spot, your Tadasana. And today's a bit cooler, so you might have a few more layers on and they might come off later. And just start by bending the knees and looking down, and then inhale, opening up, and exhale, release, looking down, and inhale, opening up, opening the palms, opening the chest, neck, shoulders, just that movement. Today it's snowing here. I don't know how it is where you are, but this is our first snowfall in Garden Bay. Kind of exciting. On these days, the body and the mind tend to be a little more tired, so if you feel a little bit lethargic, that would be normal. The colder kapha weather. Starting to add the breath. You can constrict the throat. And as you exhale, can you feel your feet and notice if you're weighting on both feet, just one. See if you can even that out a bit. And then inhale, opening the chest. Can you keep that connection to the earth even as you open to the sky? Start bringing the arms a little higher if you like. Someone's trying to get in. I'm just going to let her in. Okay. And we're just going to add a little bit of Brahmari humming. Just keep this going your own timing, this cat-cow movement, standing cat-cow. The sound is known to be very regulating for the nervous system. Lengthens the exhale. Brahmari pranayama, or bee breath. Adding Om if you like. Inviting you to bring in an image of light. So if you want something more activating, you can think of the sun. Something more cooling, you can think of the moon. As you inhale, feel the expansiveness, and as you exhale, centering that light back to your heart center. Just Finishing up. Just make an intention for today. It might be linked to our group intention: legs, feet, grounding, relaxation, settling, embodying. How can you make that intention personal for you? How can you add some virtue to that intention? How can you elevate it? That could be something like, whatever your intention is, you just say at the end, for the sake of others or for the sake of the world. You can just do that. See how that feels. When you're ready, finding again your samastiti or your tadasana. You're going to inhale, bring your arms at the sides, bring your hands up, maybe coming up onto your toes. And exhale, coming down. And if you like, bending your knees at the bottom to feel your feet. You can always tie your ankles together as we've worked on, or put a block between your thighs or a pillow to help focus the mind on the legs and feet a bit more. So I think I'm going to do the block today. I think I showed the belt last week. This really changes your experience. You might need your feet a little wider to be able to do that. You can also have the block and the belt. I really like to have my feet together as much as I can, but the block, that's a little bit harder. I'm going to try this one. This adaptation can help align the knees. It's quite strong, but it can help align the knees. And remembering that arms can be any height. So if you're getting tension in the neck and shoulders as you bring your arms up, just bring them to a place where you don't have that tension, or when you feel the tension, just back off a bit. And you could stay here, you could stay here, here, any of those places. So your Tadasana might be this, or it might be this. So just keep that in mind. Next one, we're going to stay in the pose. And breathe. I've got my palms together. You could have your hands on opposite elbows. You can interlock your fingers. And this is very strengthening for the ankles. Ooh. And coming down. And it's very good for concentrating the mind. I'm going to do some side bends now, just to open up the neck and shoulders a bit. Inhale, arms coming up. And I'm going to fold the elbows for this, but you can have the palms together or interlocked fingers. Exhale, coming to one side. You can also have your palms on top of your head. And just do this in your own timing. Now, if you have some tension in your upper back or lower back, hip. As you do this, focus your mind on that place where you hold your attention. Put your mind there. And this is one of the interesting mind-body tricks. It's where you focus your attention, the effect of the pose goes there. So prana flows where attention goes. Prana's energy. So with our mind, we can invite change in a particular part of our body by putting our attention there. Now staying on one side, then the other if you like. I'm doing this for some upper back, shoulder stuff in the room. Again, if staying here with your arms is not working, you can remove the arms. So I'm going to show one more possibility, which might work for some of you. So inhale here, exhale side. Inhale here, exhale side. There's different ways to do this, but that's the one I'm going to choose. So that would be if you've got some nerve stuff going on. And just finishing up. I always invite you to modify, adapt according to what works for you. If you remember something from a previous class, please do that. All right, so getting into our legs a little bit. We're going to do some more balancing. So we're going to inhale, bring the arms front. Should be warming up. I'm starting to warm up myself. And exhale, bring one leg up. So whatever side's easy for you, start with that. And I'm pointing my toe. And I'm trying not to lean back. I'm trying to keep my weight in the center. Inhale, center. And exhale, other side. And I'm really trying to stand tall. And the speed is according to your breath. So feel free to not do this with me. Do it in your own time. Exhale up and inhale. Your arms come up, your legs come down. I'm drawing the belly in as I exhale. I'm expanding the belly as I inhale. Tucking the chin down as I inhale. I release it as I exhale. And this also really helps with the hips, balancing the hips. Strengthens the core. When you finish around 6 rounds, just taking a break or whenever you feel you're done, just listen to that in your body. Every day will be a little bit different. I'm going to go with the side now. Inhale, arms to the side, coming up. So Tadasana. Exhale, bringing one leg to the side. Now, rather than tipping to the side, which we could do, that's a different kind of pose, we're going to try to stay upright and to the side. And then inhale up. And exhale, other side. And again, I'm pointing my toes as I do that. Exhale and inhale, I'm flexing so that when I come to standing, I can lift, 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 and settle, and then do the other side. Advantage of having a video is you can kind of see actually, oh, am I straight? It acts as a bit of a mirror for us, which is kind of nice. And just one more round. Should be starting to get warm. And if having the arms is too much, you can just do your legs. Remember, you can always remove the arms if it's becoming too much. So those are all options if you're starting to get any tension in your neck. Okay, I think I said that was the last one, so take a break. Just remove the arms. So we're going to do the back now. So inhale, arms are coming front. And exhale, you can do this different ways. So I'll just start with this version. So hands down by your hips and tipping forward. Try and keep your hips even. You can tip just a little bit or a lot. And bringing my hands back, trying to drop that right hip. I'm focusing my mind a lot on the right foot. And then inhale, coming up again. I'm lifting, 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 and then settling. And exhale, other side. That's my harder side, and I have to work a lot harder with my tension to keep my balance on that harder side. So just notice that, you might have one side's like, this is a cinch, and then the other side's like, ooh, that's a lot harder. You can do this also with the hands coming to the wall, or you can make it harder by keeping the arms extended out. Most people that would be harder. It could be easier, might help with your balance. Or you can do a combination by standing long, and then at the end of the exhale, move the arms, and that's going to work with your core strength a bit more. Inhale, extend it up. And just finishing up. And take a break. You're probably starting to get a little bit warm. I think I'm going to take a layer off myself. It's winter, so lots of layers going on and off. Okay, we're going to start working with the legs in terms of stretching them. So we're going to do one leg stretch at a time. So I invite you to bring one leg forward, the other one back. Any width, length, or width that works for your body. You can bring the arms side when you come up or front. Classical's front, so I'm going to do it that way, but for neck shoulder issues, you might want to do it side. So when you're working with the neck and shoulder, if that's your area of concern, bring the arms side. Also helps with balance. Inhale, arms up, either front or side. Exhale. Again, you can keep the arms extended long or right away bring them down to the leg. So your choice, this is harder, this is easier. So the easier version, sliding down the leg, bending that knee, maybe releasing the head down if you're not having blood pressure or eye issues. Inhale, you can come up, sliding the hands up the leg, and then at the end, bringing the arms up. Exhale, release. Okay, so that's an easy version. Harder, keep the arms extended as you go up and down. Or extend, and then when your back says, that's enough, bring them down. Okay, because the arms are weights. Really feeling this in your hips, in your legs. As you do that exhale between the sets, feel your feet. Inhale, reaching to the sky. Exhale, extending out. Now draw the belly in. Your lower back is going to round a bit as you exhale. This is a rounding movement. I bend my knee if I need to. My heels are aligned, or I have a wider stance. Exhale, feel the feet. Both feet, front and back. 2 more. Pausing between inhale and exhale. Last time, and then we're going to stay. I'm going to try to feel that back foot, the little toe side, so I'm not pronating or coming in towards the arch. And then as we stay here, we're going to do a sthiti. Inhale, looking up. You could do this with your hands on a chair or on a table if this is too much. You can bend that front knee as well. You can have blocks under your hands. I'm coming up onto my fingertips as I inhale, but you could have a couple of hard blocks under your hands, any height. And then I'm going to stay here. You can keep it moving or just stay. And if you have blood pressure issues, eye issues, maybe keeping your head up or just come halfway down, hands on a chair. Can you move into breath awareness, just being in the pose without lengthening the breath, just noticing the natural rise and fall of the breath. And when you're ready, just bending that front knee, coming up, just to make it a little bit easier on the body. Step forward, take a break, just recalibrate. You might notice a shift in the weight in your feet now towards that foot you just had forward. You might find your weight more there right now. Just notice that. We're going to even that out soon, hopefully. We're going to go to the other side. Whatever that is for you. And you might be feeling some stretch in your back calf as well. Inhale, arms coming up or not. You can skip the arms. Arms front or sides. Easy version again. Exhale, just bring your hands down. Slide down the leg, bend the knee as you need to keep the lower back supported by the thigh. Slide the hands down to your place. You might have blocks, you might have a chair, table. And inhale, coming up, sliding up the leg. And you might just leave it at that or add the end of the inhale, arms up, and exhale, release. Adding arms if you like. These are weights, more lower back if the arms are front, working the multifidus, those deep muscles in the back. Or
Arms, sides, working more with the upper back, neck, and shoulders. Bending that front leg as needed to create length in the lower back. Inhale, coming up, belly on the thigh for safety. Exhale, feel both feet. Feel the earth. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Pause. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Keep this going your own rhythm. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Doing around 2 more, or if you're ready, stay in your forward bend. Rounding a little bit as you exhale. Inhale, extending. This is a back arch. As you come up, it's a back arch. And last time, we're going to stay at the bottom. And do some stiti. Inhale, looking up. Hands again might be on blocks, up on your fingertips. Exhale, release. You can bend the knee as you release. This helps just get deeper into the posture. Helps us through this dynamic stay to focus on coordinating breath and movement. When we work with the breath, we're accessing our emotions. It's very helpful for regulating our emotional state, our nervous system. When you're ready, stay in the pose. Can you just meditate here on the rise and fall of the breath, breath awareness? You feel very present, starting to come out of the pose, step forward, slide up very lazily after staying in a pose. Notice your feet. If you feel a little dizzy, that sometimes happens coming out of those 4 bends. Take a moment. Where's your weight on your feet? Sit on both feet, 1 foot. Is it better for you to bend your knees to feel your feet? Can you feel them better that way? Or to pull up on the thighs, pulling the kneecaps up. How does that feel? Does that help you feel your legs and feet? Let's play with that. Can you lift the chest, yet draw the ribs in? Finding your samasthiti, even standing. Feel the breath. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. Inhale, Om. Exhale, Namo. Notice where your weight is front and back. Try to find that sama, that balance, sthiti, standing point. Relax the face, the jaw, the eyes. And when you feel ready, moving into some calf stretches. So you can do this at a wall or you can do it at a chair. So I'm going to do it at the wall. And I've got one foot at the wall and the other back. And I've got both feet parallel. So have a look at that back foot and make it parallel. You might need to step in a bit more and bend that front knee if you can. And come a little closer and try to have my palms flat on the wall. But if this hurts your hands because of RA or something, you can use the fingertips or even fists, or you can just put your hands on the seat of a chair or back of a chair or a counter. You could also go like this if that feels better for you. So inhale, doing a warrior one, lifting the chest, feeling that back leg, ankle. Exhale, we're going to come forward. And I'm going to straighten the front leg, and then I can feel that back half a bit more. Inhale, your Virabhadrasana, your warrior. Come onto your fingertips if you like. And exhale, forward. I'm straightening that front leg. Now, you can, if you want to work with stretching the toes, you can put the toes up on the baseboard, and that's a trick for stretching the bottoms of the feet. It's a little tough, but you can try if you like. So inhale, bend that front knee. Now I'm close enough so I can keep my hands flat, pressing away. When you press away, you can also feel that back hip flexor, psoas. And exhale, forward, straightening the leg. And if you like, you can also bring the toes up towards you. Weight on the heel. Inhale, warrior one, bending the front knee, pressing away, back leg straight. Exhale, straighten that front leg, tip forward, maybe bring the toes towards the nose. Keep that going, focusing on stretching the back leg, calf, ankle, foot, and then exhale, getting into that front leg a little bit more as well. Okay, switching sides, just do a spinal stretch with your hands fairly tall for a minute. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, bend the knees, look down. So this is neck and shoulders. Legs and feet. On the exhale. And keep it a little lower now. Just looking up with my head, pressing away with my hands. And then I'm going to go to the other side. I'm bringing my toes to the baseboard. You don't have to. My back foot, when I bend my front knee, I want my back heel on the ground. So Just make your stance, the length of it, so you can do that, so you can stretch into that calf. So tight calf muscles can lead to problems in the feet, can tighten the fascia underneath the foot and lead to plantar fasciitis. So one way to avoid problems with your feet is to keep the calves limber. So inhale, finding your warrior one. I've got my toes on the baseboard, my knee over the ankle. My hands are at about shoulder height. Any width that's comfortable. You can also angle the hands out. If you've got RA or arthritis of other sorts in your wrists, you can be on the fingertips or hold the back of a chair or a countertop if that's better for you. So inhale here, exhale, I'm straightening that front leg, I'm tipping forward, hopefully still feeling the calf a little bit, and then I'm going to tip my toes towards my nose, a bit more foot ankle awareness. Inhale. You might be able to go deeper into it as you go. Let's have a look at that back foot, make sure it's parallel to the front. Most of us need to toe in. And exhale. This should also go into the back hip, especially if you press away with the hands from the wall. Feel that back psoas working, that hip flexor. And just finishing up, you feel like you've done around 4 to 6. Coming back, spinal stretch. I'm moving the hands at the height they are, a little higher than shoulder height. Exhale, bend the knees. As you do that, torso lengthens. Inhale, looking up, straightening the legs and pressing away with the hands. This is neck and shoulders as well as legs and feet. It's also helping balancing the hips. And just finishing up. I'm going to go into those calves just a little bit more. So we're going to go more into the soleus, the deep calf muscle. So start with your easy side. Back. Place your arms on the wall. This is also going to be a stretch for the shoulders. So if these arms don't work for you, feel free to modify them. So I've got my arms parallel, my hands parallel. I might show this on this wall. Let me see. Yeah, I think you might be able to see me a little better here. And my front knee is bent. My back foot, I'm trying to make it nice and parallel. I'm just going to stay here and exhale, bend that back knee, and then inhale, straighten. You might be able to go a little longer now. Exhale, bend, inhale, straighten. If these arms aren't working for you, you can just fold your arms like this on top of each other, or just something like this. So feel free to adjust those arms. I'm working with neck and shoulders as well, getting a shoulder stretch here. Funny, during COVID, there's a lot of shoulder stuff coming up. got the weight on my forehead. And I'm just rolling my forehead as I move, bend that back knee and then straighten. Exhale, bend, inhale, straighten. And then I'm going to switch sides. I've done that about 6 times. My feet are about hip width apart. Could have the toes on the baseboard. I'm skipping that piece for this round. You might want to change your arms. It might be too much right now, especially if you have any nerve pain in your arms. So you can be very gentle with your arms and do something like that or like that. Just taking that back heel to your place. Exhale, bend. Just bending that back knee a little bit and feel into the ankle, into the deep calf muscle, and inhale, straighten. This is what I learned when I was 25 at contemporary dance school. We did an anatomy course. That was my first anatomy course. And I learned about the soleus and how to stretch it. And it was a very important lesson for me because I have tight calves. If I do this regularly, I don't injure my calves, ankles, or feet as easily anyway. Sometimes life happens. Despite all the efforts we make, but we do our best. When you feel like you've done a round 6, just coming out of it, and I'm going to bring my hands to my pretend countertop or table if you've got one. You can use a chair as well. Just give a little break there. So bend. Inhale, straighten, and I'm going to look up. This is upper back, neck and shoulders, as well as legs and feet, and just finishing up. And notice how you feel after all of that. A lot of asymmetric work. Notice where your weight is on your feet. For our last pose, we're just going to do Utkatasana, Ardha Utkatasana, the squat. And we're going to add legs and feet. I believe we did this last week. So I want you to visualize there's a tree in front of you and you're going to give it a hug when you come down. You're going to hold on to it. I invite you to do this at some point when you have a real tree in front of you. It's quite fun. Inhale, arms at the sides, opening the heart. And exhale, hugging that tree, sitting down. Now you could have a chair behind you and actually sit on that chair. So that's a great modification. If you find this hard, just come to a chair and hover just above it or actually sit down on it. And then inhale up. This is great for working with tracking of the knees, strengthening the muscles around the knees, but also working with the hips, stabilizing the hips, stabilizing the ankles, the feet, and then energetically grounding. Feel that tree, hug that tree, and sit down. Hold on to it. Feel the roots, feel the earth,
And then inhale, feel the branches, the sky, the expansiveness of you and the tree. And then exhale, feel the trunk, the roots, the earth, your feet, your legs, your hips sinking into the ground, maybe coming lower now. This is half squat, but I'm doing it like a full squat energetically. Utkatasana. Now, if you're ready to take the visualization further, you can become one with that tree. So your torso becomes the trunk, your arms, your head, neck, shoulders become the branches. And then as you exhale, feel the trunk all the way down to your feet, which are the roots going into the earth. Inhale, feeling the branches. Maybe you put some leaves on them. You decide spring comes. Feel the sky around you. Maybe feel the sun. Exhale, feel the trunk, the roots, the earth, and link all that to your body. Maybe come a little lower. We'll just do our last one. This time we're going to stay, if that's comfortable. You could be holding onto a chair. You can release the arms down if your arms are tired. Mine are actually feeling pretty tired after all that. But if you want, you can keep holding on. And then release into a forward bend when you're ready. Hands can be anywhere that's comfortable for you. You can have blocks, you can have a chair. You can keep the head lifted with blood pressure, eye issues. I'm going to hold my big toes with my first two fingers, working that big toe line. So if you have a bunion, etc., if you tend towards that, this could be a helpful way of just working with the toes. The elbows can be back or to the sides. And you can add a stitty, inhale, looking up. This can be very helpful to help you get into the pose. Bend the knees as you exhale if you like, or keep the legs straight. Semi-inversion, very relaxing, head lower than heart. And are you ready to stay? Feel the breath awareness. Maybe changing where the hands are. When you're ready, coming down to the floor, I'm going to today get my rug. It's a bit chilly. And I think you'll be able to see me better on this white surface as well. So I lie here. I think I'll take the opportunity to tip my camera down a bit. Okay. All right. So we've made it to the floor. And you might want to put a layer on. You might want to put some socks on. I think I'm going to put on my dad's sweater made by my grandma. It's one of those days. And you might want to put socks on too. But before you put your socks on, we are going to work with the toes a bit. So you might want to avoid the socks for a little bit. So just lying down, and I'm going to put my feet at the wall just to begin with, and just rest for a minute here. Just find in your samasthiti, that mountain pose or even standing pose, find it on the ground. It's called Tadaka Mudra, this pose, when you lie down. Inhale, let, exhale, go. Inhale, Om, exhale, Namo, I surrender. Particularly, I let go of those things that I can't control, that are bigger than me, right now anyway. And that might change. That might change as I learn to let go. Sometimes life will trick us that way. As soon as we let go of it, the opportunity will open for change, transformation. But sometimes the beginning of it is letting go. If you're not ready to let go yet, try not to shame yourself for that. You might not be ripe and ready to have the fruit fall from the tree of you. Just wait for that. You can ask, may I let go when I'm ready? Rather than picking the fruit before it's time. As we know, if you do that, the fruit is not sweet. When you're ready, we're going to work with those legs and feet energetically a little bit more. Just want to give you a rest after all that hard leg work we did standing. So if you'd like, you can take 1 or 2 blocks or pillow underneath the thighs. Just going to adjust my mat a little bit here. And make sure you can bring your legs overhead. The other thing I want you to consider is taking your belt, which I don't think we worked with too much today, and put it on your feet. And allow your feet to be hip width apart and parallel. Let's work with strengthening those legs. I'll put that block under my thighs. If you've got knee issues, you might want to put the block under your knees for more support. As I point my toes, my feet, my little toe sides are parallel, so you might need to have a look at that. And then as I flex them, they're also parallel, and I'm keeping my heels off the whole time. You can do this seated in Dandasana,
staff pose, or in a chair if that's easier for you. We're gonna add the arms, Tadaka Mudra, inhale, up, pointing the toes, stretching away. And exhale, flexing the toes towards your nose. And I feel like my heels are pressing out to the sides. That works for me to keep my feet aligned. This is very strengthening for the ankles. You could have those toe spreaders we talked about last week. You could have those between your toes as you do this as well. When you exhale, really pulling up on the knees. So we stretch the legs quite a bit standing today. So we're going to do some strength work. Get tired, you can take a break at any time. This is definitely easier without the block. So if you want to make it easier, remove the block. And just take a rest. And remove that belt. And the block. And then if you are using a carpet or a yoga mat, just take it and flip it up a bit. Mine was by the wood stove last night, so it's looking like it's got some wood stuff on it. Anyway, hopefully your carpet is a little tidier than mine. And I've got it just under my torso now, or you could remove it. And I've got all this space because we're going to be moving the legs on the floor. So hopefully you've got some floor that you can move your legs side to side. Okay, this is for the hips, but also for the legs and feet. Just make sure you've got lots of room to move. Arms to the sides. You can always put something under your head for more comfort. Just make sure you've got that comfort before you start your strength work. So inhale, you can make sure you can point your toes too. Lots of things to be able to do here. So inhale, you're going to bring your foot to the side, and I'm going to try to keep my knee facing up for now. And exhale, bring it back. So next round we'll play with angling the foot in and out, but this one, just start with the leg at the side. Inhale, bring it side, and exhale, center. Now I'm keeping it off the ground, but you could just slide it on the ground. That's easier. And if you can add this on, you can point the toe as you bring it to the side. And I'm pointing both toes just to add that, and then flex as I come to the center. So I'm lifting it quite about an inch off the ground, but you can slide along the earth to make it a little easier. Might help your alignment. You can also put face cloths under the feet. Some of you might know that from exercise classes. It's kind of a fun adaptation to help you slide. Lift mine off the ground a bit. So this is for legs and feet, but it's getting into the hips as well for sure. Very strengthening for the hips, the abductors, the adductors. Now we're going to play with a little bit of swimming action. You're going to inhale, open the foot to the side. So turning the foot out now, this is getting into the hip a bit more, also the knee. And then exhale, I'm angling the foot in.
So this is going to be helpful for the knees and the hips. Inhale, opening out, and exhale, angling in. So my foot is doing this action. It's like a swimming action. You can try pointing the toes as you do that, pointing and flexing just to add a bit of footwork, or you can keep the foot flexed the whole time. That might be easier. Notice if this is easier or harder than the last one we did for you. It's hard to coordinate those toes. I think I like doing this better just with my foot flexed the whole time. Might be feeling that more in the hip, more in the knee, if you've got a knee injury. And just finishing up, just take a rest. Now we're going to slide the legs along the ground. This is for tracking of the knees. Can also be really great for working with the core. And yeah, just overall stretching, strengthening of the legs. So we're going to do one leg at a time to begin with, and we're going to start with no arms at it to make it a little easier. So you're going to exhale, you're going to drag one leg in and drag it on the floor. Drag that heel on the floor. Try to do that with your core. Pelvic floor up to the belly button as you exhale, and then inhale. You're going to push the foot along the floor as you extend out and flex the toes at the end. So as you draw in, you are pointing the toes possibly, or just relax the foot and drag it in. Focus on just dragging it in. That's probably enough for your brain to focus on. And then inhale, extending out at the end, flexing the toes. Okay, if you want to add arms, you can do same arm as legs. So inhale, bringing the arms up, both arms up. And then exhale, bringing one down as you draw the leg in. Inhale, extend out. Both arms are overhead now. Exhale, other side, one arm coming down as you draw that same leg in, or you can use opposite arm to leg to work bilaterally a bit more. Just do one more round of that. Start to exhale before you move so that you're really engaging the pelvic floor all the way up to the belly button. Feel like your breath or your belly, the core, is moving your leg rather than your leg moving your leg. So it's different focus. Or focus on pressing the heel into the ground. Or focus on both if you can. So you focus on both. Really use your core, your mula bandha, your root lock. Mula means root. Starts just below the belly button, goes down to the pelvic floor, down the legs and into the feet. This is an energetic sensation. Now try both legs if you can. This will also hopefully feel nice for the lower back. The inhale is a bit more of a relaxation, but resist with the feet on the floor. Start to exhale, then start to move. I feel like the core, the pelvic floor, the stomach drawing in is pulling your legs up. You might start to shake. I'm definitely shaking as I do that. My core's pretty strong. You can add on if you want, both legs or one leg at a time. Exhale, drawing one leg or both legs in. One arm or both arms down. Now I'm going to try lifting up. Inhale up. Legs up to the sky, arms up. Exhale, coming down and pointing my toes to the earth as my hands come hip height, working the core, and then inhale, extending out. I realize it's a lot harder with this extra height under my torso, so that's interesting to observe. You might want to just use no mat under your upper body if you're finding this hard. Exhale in. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, extend. Keep this going a few more times. You can just do the first part of the exercise instead. This is combining Urdhva Prasarita Tadasana with Tadaka Mudra, two poses, and a little bit of a third Apanasana, knees to chest. But I'm not bringing the knees all the way to the chest necessarily, but you can. Bring the knees all the way in. Just our last one. Then just rest. And you might want to, before you do your rest, just take your mat or your carpet, if you're lying on a carpet, and just lay it out. We'll move into our final pose before our Shavasana. I do invite you to put socks on if it's chilly where you are today. I've got these amazing socks I just love right now. Quite colorful, which is kind of fun. So we're going to end with legs up. You can do legs up the wall. I'm going to invite you to put a cushion, a small cushion, or you could use a bolster under your buttocks and just bring your legs up. And this is a great way, Viparita Karani, to just down-regulate the nervous system. The head is lower than the heart, not too much lower with this small prop. So with heart disease, it should be okay, just a very small cushion. Do check that with your doctor. If you want to add on, you can bring your hands to the sky to promote circulation with the hands and the arms into the chest if you're working more with this upper area. This promotes circulation in the hands and arms as well. And just rest here. Inhale, let, exhale, go. If it's not feeling restful, put the legs up a wall, put them on a sofa, chair. You might have a little shaking nervous system discharge as you do this kind of pose after all the work we've done today. Don't get worried about that. It's very normal. It's very healthy. Just have a bit of a shake. It means your body's discharging something it's been holding on to, usually emotionally. Can also just be fatigue. When you're ready, Shavasana, or I'm going to do legs at the wall today. I'm going to do it with without a prop, just to let my back go to neutral, but feel free to have a bolster or a block underneath your buttocks to promote blood flow. So getting into this, bring your hip, if you've been in person class with me, you'll remember this, bring your hip to the wall. I find the easiest way to get in, and it's how I was taught many years ago by my Iyengar yoga teacher. Bring your legs up the wall. And the belt, I like putting it on my ankles, some people on the thighs. You can have two belts, one just above the ankles and another on the thighs, so whatever works for you. Some people like to tie their legs up mummy style with a blanket. If you haven't seen that, you can look that up online. It's not one I do very often, but some people like that. And just rest here. You start to have tingling in the feet and legs, come out of the pose. If you're in this pose and your hamstrings are having to work, back off, bring your buttocks away from the wall until your legs can relax completely. And just find your pose and rest here. This pose is wonderful for headaches, for anxiety, for a feeling of being overwhelmed or ungrounded. It's a great pose to meditate in. Just slow down. Great pose to do before bed if you have insomnia. And you can add pranayama to it, especially if you're using it before bed to help you fall asleep. Just notice the length of your exhale. Say the length of your exhale is 3 seconds, then just do that 3 times. And try to move to 4 seconds, do that 4 times. 5 seconds, do that 5 times. When you feel you get to about 80% of your maximum breath, just let it go and try to go into a meditation. Inhale, let, exhale, go. That's a mantra I always use myself if I wake up and I can't sleep. Inhale, let, exhale, go. Or inhale, Om, exhale, Namo. And when you're ready, just starting to increase the length of your breath. Starting to move your body, getting out of the pose any way that you can. Got the belt on your legs, just moving that. Coming to one side. Coming up to a seated position. You can sit in a chair, keep lying down if you're feeling like you're not ready to come up. We're just going to do a little bit of palming of the eyes. You're going to rub your hands together. Place your hands, your palms on your eyes in a way that's comfortable, so you can just cup the eyes, or you can put some gentle pressure on them. You might want to watch me first. And then you're going to do some Shitali or Sutkara pranayama. Inhale through the tongue or the teeth as you come up with your neck and shoulders. Exhale, roll down, Ujjayi pranayama, very light Ujjayi. We're going to change that actually to a Brahmari. You could do this with Om. So inhale through a curled tongue or the tongue behind the teeth and just drawing that cool air in, and exhale. Deep breath. Sutkari or Shitali pranayama. And just finishing up, bringing the hands to the heart. Om Shanti 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 He means peace. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Hari Om. May all obstacles be removed from that conscious link between us called Om, Alpha, Omega, everything in between. Namaste. Thank you very much.